So I was about 13 years old at the time. It was the end of the summer before I was to go into the 8th grade. The entire summer leading up to August was mainly my parents, especially my mom, making a huge deal about getting to go to Russia and seeing our relatives, and made me and my older sister brush up on our Russian for weeks before we left. So we had spent just about 10 of our 14 days, mainly in St. Petersburg. Our cousins had just left to go back home with their grandmother, so we were still there with our uncle and aunt. The entire group was me, my mother, my sister, 18/19 at the time, my uncle, and my aunt. Before we left, our mom wanted to see one of the parks there, just to walk around and enjoy some fresh air. By the time we entered the park, though, my sister and I were sick of walking, so we walked on a bit with our mom and her brother and sister-in-law, but soon sat down on a nearby bench, where we just talked and played kick the pigeon. Really, we were just frightening them. We didn't kick any pigeons. I wish I could describe the layout of where we were without using some kind of doodle. Behind us was this patch of foresty area. The trees though were starting to lose their leaves and wither. Wrapped around that area was a walkway. In front of us was a single walkway connected to the one our bench was on, which led to a fountain. On either side of it, from where we were sitting, there were two large hedges. One was directly in front of us. The other was on the other side of the walkway, a bit to our left. As we are talking, I notice some people walk past, but none of them stop near us. I am fairly sure I just saw the same guy walk back and forth several times. I squinted to see if I could make out any features, but I couldn't. I just knew it was some bald guy wearing a suit. This didn't bother me that much though. I just assumed he was lost or something, so I continued talking to my sister. Eventually, I noticed a bald guy in a suit stand in front of the hedge on the other side of the walkway. I assumed he was just passing through, but when I looked back, he was still just standing there, just facing the hedge. Eventually, as my sister and I go back to our kick the pigeon game, she gives me a disgusted look and looks over at the men and says to me, "Oh my God, is that guy peeing?" I glance over at the men and see his face. I can tell he's smiling and looking right at me. He has his wrinkly cock out and his hand is making motions that don't suggest he's peeing. My sister then gasps and says, "He's not peeing." We sit there shocked for a second as we see his smile grow wider. His eyes are locked on me and not my sister. I open my mouth to try and say something to him, but before I can, my sister stands up and begins screaming at him in English, "You fucking sicko! What the fuck are you doing in front of a child? You're sick for getting off on little boys, you disgusting piece of shit." At this point the man begins to run into the forested area. "Yeah, you better run, you fucking coward," and hides behind one of the small withered trees, all the while smiling and laughing like he's amused by my sister's anger. She begins to grow annoyed and shouts, "I can still see you, you fucking dumbass. Get the fuck out of here!" He proceeds to laugh and hop away down the walkway, while my sister and I run to find our mom. We told her what happened and we could still see him running, so she whistled at him and said in Russian, "Hey, pervert. Get over here and show us what you have and not just my children." My sister and I were horrified at the fact our mom thought this shit was really funny. Our uncle just said, "Oh, they saw an exhibitionist? Was it your first time seeing one? Then he laughed. I guess looking back on it, it's far more humorous than it is scary. The guy was too much of a pussy to do anything to us, even though my sister and I kept looking over our shoulders in case he should come back. Please, subscribe.